Yo, what is up, everybody? So, today we are talking about the track From the Ground. This is where this is where the album actually takes off. Uh, it's the second track, but it's the start of the story. The first track is its own track, but this is like the start of the story. So, From the Ground, this is the lowest point that you can get. You are you are basically under the ground. Or you can look at it as like from the ground you're nobody. And from the ground you're gonna make it up to somebody. And that's what you do in this album. You know, like I said in the first episode, you slowly become the better version of you. So from the ground you are the shitty ass person that nobody likes to be around. Nobody wants you around, nobody needs you around, nobody wants you around. And you're just a shit ass person. And you're looking at yourself and you're fighting with yourself. And that's where the next track comes in play. You know? These three tracks really intertwine with each other. You know, while you're sitting there wanting to become a bigger person, you know, you're fighting your inner beast. And your inner beast is a lion. So you're fighting with yourself, really. You want to make it up there, but you're nobody. You're coming from the bottom up. And that's so fucking hard to do. You know, it's more easier to be a shittier person than it is to be a good person. You know, and a lot of people say, not really. No, it is. There's a whole group of people out there that feel the exact same way that I do. I feel like I can confidently say half the population feels exactly how I feel. Because I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. It's more easier to be an asshole than it is to always be nice and caring. But this track was the first track ever made for the album. At first, it wasn't going to be on the album. I didn't even know that this was going to lead into an album. I knew I wanted to make a fifth album, but From the Ground was going to be a single. And I remember sitting at my cousin's party that he threw. I was sitting out on the patio and I was looking at it and I was like, I want to do something with it. So I take a picture of the trees. I put a parental advisory sticker on it, slapped my name on it, From the Ground. There was different covers of it, and I was like, all right, cool, we are releasing this right now. Like, at that moment, I was just like, done, boom, awesome, because I loved that beat. This album is dark because it kind of goes through motions. At the beginning of the album, you are supposed to be this terrible fucking person. You are this terrible person. And halfway through the album, you start to realize that you don't want to be that person no more. And you work on yourself and you better yourself. And then towards the end of the album, you are this new and improved you. And I feel like I explained that really good with the tracks. The album cover, it went through a couple of changes. I know that when I went into it, I knew when I went into it that I wanted to be an hourglass. It was always going to be hourglass. I saw somebody put in the comments a while ago that I made an album hourglass and a track hourglass because of Hollywood Undead's Hourglass. They actually stole that idea from me because before the album was even announced, Hollywood Undead's album was even announced, I believe I was already finished with Hourglass, and I was like, oh shit! And I was like, that's fucking awesome. And I joked about, like, you know, whose was gonna do better, but obviously theirs was gonna do a shit ton better than mine. But I was like, oh shit,
That's awesome. But the album cover went through a few changes. It wasn't the original that you see now. There was another one where it was like sunny outside, and it was like chilling on a beach. And then there was the same album cover, but it kind of looked distorted. And then there was another album cover where it looked like there was like shades with like sun peeking in. I know I still have that one. If I can find it, I'm going to put it up on the screen, but I'm not too sure. I like that album cover. That was going to originally, not originally, but the original album cover is the original album cover for the album. But then I changed it and I was like, yo, this is it. And I made the album with that album cover on it. And I was like, this is it. And then I changed my mind. I was like, well, no, because I like the original one better because it just seems more authentic. And really, why would there be sun underwater? I mean, like with blinds and shit. Why would there be blinds and sun underwater? Because that's what the album cover is. It's an hourglass that's floating in water. It's like, well, not floating, but it's sinking to the bottom. So, the track list for this album actually changed quite a little bit. Hourglass was not going to be the first track, but then I switched it so it is the first track, so it fall in line with the last two previous albums. And then obviously Encore was on the album, but then that got switched to Goodbye, Farewell in Arms. And then Inner Beast and Lion were not originally going to be on the album. I was like, no, I'll find something else, or, I'll just cut it down 2 tracks. And I didn't cut it down 2 tracks because Inner Beast and Lion were on Ordinary World. Those were pre-released on Ordinary World. And they just did not get the love that they deserve over there. And I was like, dude, these are fucking fire-ass tracks. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm taking them down. And I tried to make it seem like, because they didn't really get love over there. Because at the time, it was just the albums that were popping. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, these are really good tracks. So I took them down, tried to make it seem like they were never singles. And then I put them on the album. Obviously, people did know. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck happened. I know that you guys didn't see it, but it ended the voice audio. But anyway, yeah. So people were saying that hey, yo, something's missing. Yo, where did those 2 tracks go? Wasn't there a track called Lion? Wasn't there a track called Lion? Wasn't there a track called Lion? And it was like nobody really called out Inner Beast too, which really made me sad. I was like, dude, really? So then I was so excited. I'm like, yes, fuck yes. They're gonna get the love that they deserve. And they did. They got the fucking love that they deserve. And I am so happy about that. Like, you have no idea how happy I am that they finally got the love. And then with those 2 tracks on, I was going to add 2 additional tracks. It was going to be Encore, and I believe there was another one that I'm saving for the future, so I'm not gonna say it. But there was 2 tracks that were going to be on it. So there was going to be 17 tracks in total for this album, kind of taking it back to Paradise. But I was like, I feel like I have a good thing going. So I took those off and it became 15. I don't really have, like, I don't know how to word this. Like, each album, as long as there's more than 10, I'm okay with. 17 is pushing it. I don't feel like an album should go over 15. I prefer 15 tracks because that's a nice even amount. And it's enough to tell a story. But I don't have a problem with doing like albums. And then there are going to be albums of mine that aren't going to have 15 tracks. You know, there's going to be, I know that there's going to be like some that's going to have either 12, 13, 14, you know, granted it's just 1 or 2 off, 3, but I mean, you know, and there's also going to be albums that are going to have 17 tracks, you know, so it's just, you know, there's not really a well, I can't say there's not really a preferred set list because I prefer that there's 15 tracks, but not every album is going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to sound the same. It's going to give off a different vibe. And if I feel like it works with fewer or more, that's just going to be, you know, what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, on this album, I was going to work with a couple of people. I was going to see if either Ryan or Jacob would be okay with having one of their beats on the album. I wanted to see if Tyga wanted to do one more thing. But at the same time, I was like, this is my 5th album. Like, this is my one and only 5th album, solo album. And I've been solo this whole time. No help. And this is the 5th fucking album. Let's just do it solo. Which I am, you know, a solo artist, but that doesn't mean that I'm not opposed to working with somebody on your medicine. I've done it before. What I do like to do, though, is I do like to kind of have that for Ordinary World and kind of push Ordinary World a little bit. But, you know, if the opportunity is right and the opportunity is good, then I'm going to take it for your medicine. You know, I would actually like to have features on the album. I would like to have a album just featuring a shit ton of people. I've always wanted to do that, though. I've always wanted to feature an album that has like 13 artists on it. I just think that it is more creative, I guess, because you get a lot of what's it called? Fuck it. You get a lot of insight. Let's say insight. You get a lot of insight. Things sound different. They're not gonna be the same. Every track's gonna have a different vibe to it, and I like that. And I was actually just thinking about, you know, having an album that is just vibey. You know, it's not telling a story. It's not centered around one thing. It's just centered around everything. You can listen to it, which, I mean, you can listen to any of my tracks if, you know, how, you know, you're feeling, depending on how you feel. You can listen to any of them, but I just want to make an album where it's just catered to that. It's just catered to vibes. And I feel like that would be really cool. You know, some things that would be, like, really hard. So, like, it would be, like, a hard track if you want it, hard track, and then soft track, and then soft track, a hard track, soft track, hard track, you know, soft track. Shit like that. Just scattered throughout the album, so it will have a little bit of everything for everybody, or maybe like half and half. It starts off slow and then the album progressively gets hard. I personally think that would be hard. That would be something cool to see in the future. But at the same time, I would like to keep getting these albums out each year. We've been really good with it since Angels with Wings. We got Angels with Wings, The Abyss, Hourglass, the next 2 albums. That's like 5 years in a row of consistently putting out an album every year. So, which is really, really fucking crazy to think about. Like, absolutely nuts. I took 1 year after Fly Away. Paradise, I took... Well, Paradise was weird. That was split half and half. Half the album came out in 20, and then the other half came out in 21. But the original set was for 2020. The reason why that came out in 21, the couple of tracks that did come out, was because I lost this account and I wasn't able to put it up. So it was like, lovely. So, yeah, I didn't get the chance to put it up. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm sorry that it did take a minute for the podcast to come out and start being worked on, but I hope you guys do understand, and I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode. If you guys don't already know, this is season fucking 4. Season fucking 4. There's 4 fucking seasons of this shit. This is the 4th fucking season. There are 3 previous episodes. Go watch those 2. They're just as good. Not watch those 2, but like watch those 2 along with this one. Watch them in order. It is also kind of like the 3rd season though. There's gonna be like random shit thrown in, kind of as like a pause in between. Something a little silly, something a little goofy, something like a little fucking schizo. But yeah, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you guys, and I will see you guys all in Hourglass. That's if I don't die. Good. Bye. Yuck. Damn, that shit's gross. Oh, I'm still recording. Oh, shit. I'm gonna keep that in, that's fine.